Oh, nuts.
Down at Statham Hall, another roper is showing off his stuff. Rifleman star Johnny Crawford.
Monty Montana gave me a cotton rope on one of their very first episodes.
Johnny will be forever known with Chuck Connors as father and son, Mark and Lucas McCain in The Rifleman.
And I'm very fortunate to have been part of it. You know? And I'm proud of it. Yeah. And let's see if I can do a rollover here.
More than 50 years after it aired, it's still great fun for fans who grew up watching that classic Western TV show to meet the star and hear the stories.
A wonderful experience to meet people that we share something, special. And I love hearing, about their favorite episodes and stuff. And it's very sweet.
And of course, everybody wants to know, what was Chuck Connors like?
He was very mischievous and had a great sense of humor. And he loved, I was kind of shy, and he loved humiliating me. He would say, "Johnny, here, I've got to get something at the drugstore, or something. Come along with me." And we'd leave the studio and walk down Ventura Boulevard in our outfits, and he was bold, as he loved it, and but people loved it, honk at him and stuff. And he'd talk to people as they were crossing. If we were stopped at a light, he'd roll down the window and start talking to people walking across the street and saying, "I'm with my son," He was crazy.
We ran into Johnny a bit later at Rob Word's memorabilia table.
Johnny's one of the few that knows who some of these obscure character actors are from the press books. Like Singing Guns, he knew that it was Vaughn Monroe that was the star.
It was an era when we expected our heroes to set a good example, and they did.
Just steps away, we meet Cheryl Rogers Barnett, the daughter of Roy Rogers and Dell Evans, signing copies of her latest book.
I thought she was a neat lady until they got married, and then I gave her fits, so thank God she was a saint because she put up with me.
Cheryl grew up hanging out at the Republic Picture Studio in Los Angeles, where her dad made many of his movies.
Growing up at a studio was such fun. There was no Disneyland when I was a kid, so having access to the wardrobe and the makeup department and going out to what they called the tank, which was a big pond thing, and watching them do battle scenes, with ships and all out there. I mean, it was a great place to grow up.
Lone Pine is a special place for Cheryl. Her dad made his very first movie here, and Dell Evans made one of her very last public appearances at the festival.
They were really special people. I mean, they were so incredibly talented.
This is a great experience, to have people come up and tell you how much watching a movie had meant to them, or how much, seeing my grandfather. Some of these folks had actually run across him in real life.
The grandson of actor Joel McCrea and actress Frances Dee, Wyatt McCrea is a cherished regular at the festival. The actor, MC, spokesman, and producer comes to Lone Pine to keep the memory of his beloved grandparents burning bright, and fans appreciate the effort.
People appreciate being able to have some connection to, to somebody that meant so much to them, and even if it's a different generation, they feel that there's something special about being able to shake your hand or talk to you, So, and that gives me a lot of, a lot of good feelings to be able to communicate to that to them, and to be able to share that with them, share that experience.
That's Duke.
But the Western is not a thing of the past, and Eric Heisner and Al Bringas are working to make sure of that.
The romanticism of the horses and the landscapes is still out there, and people are hungry for that.
We meet a lot of people that want to keep the West alive also, so it's not just us. I mean, we're the ones that are actually producing it and trying to make it happen, but the audience is there for us.
Eric's written a Western novel and produced an award-winning Western film, which he shot in the Alabama hills. Al is an artist. The pair also sell Western wild rags modeled after the ones worn by John Wayne and other Western stars. They can even shape your hat.
Just another fun aspect of the Western genre.
But their real passion is the Western film and doing their part to keep the genre alive and well.
The thing about the Alabama Hills, the rocks up there, shooting a Western, we can shoot a Western now that looks exactly the same as it did almost 100 years ago.
Meantime, screenings of Western movies, most of them made right here, are a staple of the festival. They included Buffalo Bill, starring Wyatt's grandfather Joel McCrea, and directed by William Wellman, whose son remembers hanging out on the set when he was just 7 years old.
Well, I just have nothing but wonderful memories of it. You know, I got to sit on Maureen O'Hara's lap, and to be on that set, and they make me up to look like, you know, I'm Buffalo Billy. And I loved it.
Your first name?
It's great fun to hear about the old Westerns, but it's also very interesting to hear what's happening in big-time Hollywood right now.
If you saw the recent attempt at the Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp.
Actor Bruce Boxleitner, stuntman Diamond Farnsworth, screenwriter Robert Knott of the Ed Harris Western Appaloosa, and LA Times film critic Kenneth Turan offered their fascinating insights during one of the weekend's many panel discussions.
There are trends in what executives want to make, which is a different thing than what audiences want to see.
We got in, we made it. Could we do it today? Yeah.
By the way, with this amazing landscape we have here, this place was always a character. The environment, the West itself, is always a character in the Western movie, right? Unlike just about any other genre.
You know, everybody watches, you know, the guy doing a transfer from the horse to the stagecoach or a wagon. You know what, you don't, and when you watch it, you okay, that was all right, but you don't realize how dangerous it is. What if that horse trips and falls and throws you down underneath that stagecoach? You're dead. That's all there was to it. And believe me, back in those older days, they ran over quite a few people trying this stuff. They did. And it was, bring me another one. You know?
I mean, if you want to make a historically accurate Western, that's important. If you don't, it's not. I want to be entertained by what's on the screen. I don't care if it reflects reality or not. I want to know if it does, but I want to walk out of that theater feeling good, not feeling, boy, they really nailed, the nails on the barn were vintage. I don't need to know that.